Used to be a dreamer. You know I found.
What do you think of the Second Amendment? When they come for your friends, tell me, will you defend them? When they come for the migrants, will you hide or you sell them? If you don't think they're coming, you're not paying attention. Never touched a gun, I just play around with questions. So what will I do when it's time to just guessing? A fan of the Panthers, a fan of M Ghandhi, so both of their answers are living inside me. One word's always skipped and I think that it's planned. They're handing out guns, but militias are banned. No background checks, they want psychos of violence, ripping us up so we never combine us. The dirtiest word in our land's organizing, and patriot acts and terror labels and trying this. But if people linked up with or without weapons, it seems to be a step in the right direction. Yo, the slaughtering children, what horror is this? And on top of it all, the uproar has been dimmed. And we back in the fields, just chewing on grass, just letting it happen, police not breaching a class. Our schools killing fields, and no one will act. Not a Buddhist nation, but we kill at acceptance. Nirvana's at hand, America's transcendent. But his bit of wisdom would make our minds to weapons, which unlike ARs, could avoid repentance. Then we could screw a drop of courage to the stick in place. And instead of serenity, we could have a change. The right rightly blames a mental health epidemic, but their reps won't lend a cent to address it. The left correctly blames military grade weapons, but won't discuss the text of the Second Amendment. So it falls to us to protect each other by showering love on every sister and brother. Now, for this week of Flow Lounge, I had tried something that didn't work, didn't work more than my other stuff doesn't work. I tried writing a poem and then turning that poem into a verse. And then basically it didn't work, and so I just went with two other verses, which you just heard. But here I'm gonna record those anyway, so you can see like the poem as I thought it, and then how I tried to turn it into a rap verse and wasn't able to. And I think often you probably can translate things from one form to another. And sometimes you can't, or maybe you lack the skill to do it. Maybe it would have been possible to do it, and I just didn't achieve it this time. So first, let's do the rap version.
If Pyros and Crips all got along, they probably gun me down by the end of the song. Seem like the whole city go against me. Every time I'm in the street, I hear drop, 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 drop.
On the day I began Alice mandated training, I despaired meditating on the state of the nation. Our leaders mass-produce mental illness and guns, then stand aside, shrug their shoulders, twiddle their thumbs. Daydream step between students and a black hole, faceless neath the mask, closing ammo and camo, taking futile bullets cause that was all I could do. In a world spun out of control, for me and for you, at least saying I love these precious miracles. Nothing is right, nothing is well, but love is still. Can't think about your other kids in that moment, just hoping no others do the same for them. And though they grow in a home with no wise cooking clown, they'll grow to know and love the love that I've passed down. And decades later, as mutated stragglers scrabble over pockmarked earth, searching for poisonous apples. Foragers once more, a whiff of love and trust may pass between them, inheritance in my dust. Okay, and then here's the original poem as I wrote it that week. Late 2019, I paused my first Alice training, shocked at the thought that this was all the action we would take to protect our nation's children. I fantasized about stepping between my students and a twisted, nihilist, murderous black hole, faceless beneath a mask. Taking futile bullets, because that was all I could do in a world spun completely out of everyone's control. At least saying I love these beautiful children. Nothing is right and nothing is well, but love is still. You can't worry about your other kids at a time like that. You just have to hope and to know that their teachers would do the same for them. And if they grow up in a home with no father, one day the story of what I did will compensate for what they lacked. And one post-apocalyptic day, as mutated stragglers scrabble over a pockmarked hellscape in search of poisonous apples, foraging like their ancestors, a whiff of affection may pass between them, the inheritance of my dust. All right, thanks for listening, and as always, I'm looking for, any tips or advice or ideas on making one word better, or one line better, or delivery better, or anything you can do to help me level up my writing or my performance or my game in any way. I always appreciate that, and I wish you a great day.